Everybody wants to be heard. That's the age we live in. People scream into the void of social media looking for someone, anyone, to acknowledge them, to validate their effort, to give them a thumbs up so they feel like they're on the right path. But here's the truth. If you really want to get ahead, if you really want to achieve something great, you've got to learn to shut the hell up and just do the work. Silence isn't weakness. It's power. It's focus. It's the place where real transformation happens. Away from the noise, the clapping, the attention. The world has become obsessed with recognition. People chase likes more than legacy. They'll post a picture of themselves at the gym more often than they'll actually train hard. They'll announce their goals before they even start working toward them. And you know what that does. It tricks the brain. It gives you a hit of dopamine for doing nothing. You feel good for saying something, but you haven't earned anything. You haven't lifted the weight. You haven't run the mile. You haven't done the hard part. You've just made noise, and noise doesn't build anything. Silence, thought silence is where the real ones live. Silence is the grind. It's the early mornings when your alarm goes off and no one's there to see you get up. It's the late nights when your body's exhausted, but you still get in that final set, or you still show up for yourself when everything in you wants to quit. It's the hours spent improving when no one is watching. When there's no applause coming and you're just left with your will. That's where champions are made, not on the stage, not in the highlight reel, but in the quiet moments no one ever sees. See, when you're silent, you're dangerous. Because no one knows what you're doing. No one sees the progress until it's too late to catch up. You're not showing your cards. You're not wasting energy trying to impress anyone. You're just building brick by brick, quietly, relentlessly. And then one day, the results are so loud that the world has no choice but to pay attention. But if you're always talking, always trying to convince people that you're working hard or that you're grinding, then you're not grinding. You're performing. You're in it for the attention, not the growth. And that mindset will collapse the second things get hard. Because when the likes stop, one goal, when the praise dies down, you won't have anything left. You didn't build the discipline. You didn't fall in love with the process. You were just addicted to being seen. There's something deeply powerful about the person who doesn't need to be validated. The person who wakes up every day and gets after it, whether anyone notices or not, that's the kind of person who actually gets somewhere. That's the person who becomes unshakable. They don't need external motivation because their drive is internal. Their hunger is quiet, but it's ruthless. It doesn't need a spotlight. It burns with or without an audience. So stop announcing every move. Stop waiting for someone to tell you're doing great. Start building in silence. Start living like your actions are more important than your words, because they are. And one day when the results show up, when people start asking how the hell you got so far ahead, all you'll have to say, I just did the work, quietly. Every day, while everyone else was too busy talking, there's something sacred about grinding when no one's watching. When it's just you, the clock, and the relentless pressure of your own expectations. That's where it all starts. That's where it all gets real. You want to shine in the light. You better be willing to bleed in the dark. Everyone wants the spotlight, the moment, the recognition, but no one wants the silence, the solitude, the discipline it takes to actually earn it. People think success is built in front of an audience. It's not. It's built when the seats are empty, when there's no music playing, no one cheering, no one giving you a pat on the back. It's built in those long goal. It's brutal hours when you're showing up for something no one else even knows you're chasing. It's in the decisions you make when no one else is holding you accountable, when it would be so easy to quit and no one would even notice. That's the test. That's the proving ground. And the ones who pass it, they don't need to tell you they're grinding. You'll see it in their results. There's a reason why most people never reach their potential. It's because they can't stay locked in when the applause disappears. They lose momentum when the audience goes quiet. They're motivated by the idea of being admired, not by the actual process of becoming a great. And that's a fatal flaw, because real growth, real success, it doesn't care who's watching. It doesn't care about your feed or your followers. It only responds to effort. Real, raw, unfiltered effort. You've got to grind in the dark so relentlessly, so obsessively that when the light finally hits you, you're already a savage. Goal. You're already sharp. You don't need to adjust to the pressure you've already lived through worse. The moment doesn't overwhelm you because you were forged in something harder, something lonelier, something more honest. That's the difference. It's the ones who grind in silence. They don't flinch when the opportunity comes. They don't crack under pressure. They don't get nervous when eyes are on them. They just execute because they've done it so many damn times. When no one was there, it's just another rep, another day, nothing new. They've already lived the hard part. The spotlight is just the final checkpoint. But those who skip the silence, who try to cheat the process and rush into the light before they're ready, they crumble. They haven't built the resilience. They haven't paid the price. They show up flashy, loud, full of ego. And the second they're tested, they fold. Because you can't fake preparation. You can't fake the dark hours. You can't shortcut the pain. The grind isn't meant to be glamorous. It's supposed to be dirty, repetitive, unsexy. It's supposed to break you down and force you to rebuild one over and over. It's where you become something different, something better. But that transformation only happens if you're willing to disappear for a while, to work with no recognition, to improve with no compliments, to be obsessed with growth while the world is still asleep. So if you really want the light, stop chasing it. Earn it. Let the grind make you so good that when you step out, the world can't ignore you. Not because you shouted your way in, but because your results are undeniable. You didn't need to tell them. You showed them, and that's always louder. Discipline is everything. It's the difference between people who would talk about doing something and people who actually do it. You can scream all day about how bad you want it, how hungry you are, how you're going to change your life, but none of that means a damn thing without discipline. And here's the kicker. Most people don't really want it. They want the idea of it. They want the results without the process. They want the pride with the grind, but it doesn't work like that. Life doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards consistent, focused, unrelenting action. And that kind of action only comes from discipline. You want to be great. Then stop waiting for motivation to show up and hold your hand. Motivation is soft. It comes and goes. It's emotional. It's tied to how you feel. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up whether you're excited or not. It's whether you slept well or not, whether it's raining, snowing, sunny, or your whole life's falling apart. Discipline shows up because it's not tied to emotion. It's tied to commitment. That's the separator. People crave validation because it's easy. You post something online, someone clicks a heart, and suddenly you feel like you're making progress. But you're not. You're being tricked. Validation gives you the illusion of momentum, but it's empty. It's not real. And the second it disappears, you're back to square one. If you depend on validation to keep you going, you've already lost. Because when the world stops clapping for you, and it will, you're going to stop too. You're going to fold. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when the applause is gone. The truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one cares how many times you say you're going to change. No one's impressed by your potential. The only thing that matters is what you do day in, day out. When no one's watching, that's what defines you. That's what builds your character. And the stronger your discipline, the less you need from anyone else. You don't need external rewards. You don't need constant reminders. You've got your own internal system. You've got a fire that burns no matter what. Validation is a drug. It gives you just enough dopamine to keep you from making real moves. But discipline, real discipline, it's freedom. It's hard at first, brutal. But once you build it, once it becomes who you are, it unlocks everything. It gives you control over your choices, your habits, your mind. Discipline is what gets you to the gym when your body's sore. It's what helps you shut out distractions when your brain wants to scroll. It's what forces you to say no to comfort, to weakness, to short-term pleasure, because you know exactly what you're building. Don't be the person who's always chasing compliments. Be the person who's too focused to even hear them. Let people wonder how you're doing it. Let them be shocked when they finally see the results. And when they ask, don't give them some motivational speech. Just tell them the truth. You got tired of depending on praise. You got sick of waiting for motivation. You choose discipline. And that made all the difference. Forget being seen. Forget being liked. Get addicted to the process. Build the habits. Stay consistent. Work in silence. Train your mind to move even when it doesn't want to. That's how you separate from the pack. That's how you become some people never will, relentless. Consistency is the killer. It's the thing no one wants to talk about because it's not sexy. It's not exciting. It doesn't sell. People love motivation because it makes them feel good for a few minutes, but then it fades. You watch a video, get pumped, say, I'm going to change my life, and maybe you go hard for a day or two. Then what? The fire dies. Life gets in the way. You sleep in. You cheat the diet. You skip the gym, and suddenly you're back where you started because you thought hype could carry you to greatness. It can't. Hype is loud. Consistency is quiet, but it's a monster. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never win. Because the days you don't feel like it, that's most days. The alarm goes off and your body says no. Your brain tells you to hit snooze. The weather sucks. You're tired. You're sore. You've got excuses stacked a mile high, and none of that matters. Consistency says, I don't care how you feel. We're doing it anyway. That's the difference. That's the mentality that builds champions. Everybody's inspired on day one. Everybody's committed when it's convenient. But the people who get results, the people who change their lives, they show up no matter what. They understand that transformation doesn't happen from one hard workout or one productive morning. It happens from stringing together boring. It's a repetitive, disciplined action over and over and over again. Success is repetition. It's doing the same damn things daily until they become automatic, until you don't question whether you'll show up. You just do. And here's the truth that no one wants to hurg. Some days it won't feel like it's working. You'll be showing up, doing the work, and not seeing the results fast enough. You'll feel like quitting. You'll wonder if it's worth it. And that's the exact moment where most people give up. They bail out because they're addicted to fast progress. They want instant change, but that's not how anything real is built. That's not how bodies are transformed. That's not how businesses are built. That's not how confidence is developed. All of that comes from staying in the fight long after the motivation has left the room. Consistency isn't just about showing up. It's about showing up with purpose. It's about keeping your standards high even when no one is watching. It's about refusing to let yesterday's wins make you soft. It's about attacking every single day like it matters, because it does. Every day you show up, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And every day you skip, every time you cave to comfort, you're giving ground to the old version of you, the one you said you were done with. You don't need more hype. You don't need more motivation. You need a system. You need non-negotiables. You need to decide once and for all that you're not going to be the kind of person who only works when it feels good. You're going to be the kind of person who shows up no matter what, period. That's what builds power. That's what builds confidence. When you know you can rely on yourself, not just when you're fired up, but when you're drained, uninspired, and everything sucks. That's when you become dangerous, when you separate from the average. Because the average waits to feel ready. You just do the damn work every single day. Everybody wants to be seen, but very few want to build something worth looking at. That's the problem. Too many people are chasing hype. Fast, flashy, superficial recognition. They want the attention that comes with success, but not the habits that create it. The truth is simple. Your habits define you, not your image, not your reputation, not your highlight reel. Your habits are what determine where you end up. And if your daily actions don't line up with the life you say you want, then you're lying to yourself loudly. Posting motivational quotes won't make you disciplined. Telling people you're grinding doesn't mean you're doing anything. Hype is hollow. It fades the second no one's watching. But your habits, the things you do when the cameras are off, when your phone is down, when no one is checking in on you, those are the things that either build you or destroy you. You can either live in the illusion of who you pretend to be, or you can commit to becoming someone who doesn't have to pretend at all. There's this obsession with showing progress before it's even real. People want to talk about the journey before they've even started walking. They want the recognition without the repetition. That's not how this works. You don't rise by being seen. You rise by showing up every damn day, not when it's convenient, not when you feel motivated, but every single day like it's your job, because it is. The people who make it, they're not hyped up, they're locked in. They've built habits that don't rely on mood or emotion. They get up, train, work, study, create, not because they feel like it, but because it's who they are. They've wired it in. It's automatic. That's the level you need to get to if you're serious. This is because anyone can be hyped for a week. Anyone can commit for a few days. But can you build something that lasts? Can you outlast your own laziness, your own doubt, your own excuses? Most people won't. They'll chase trends. They'll chase comfort. They'll keep starting over because they never built anything real. If you want to stop living in circles, if you're tired of being average, then it's time to stop talking about your goals and start aligning your habits with them. Every choice matters. Every rep counts. Every late night or early morning. Every decision to show up when you could have quit. That's what builds the version of you who actually has what you say you want. You want to change your life. Look at what you're doing daily, not what you plan to do, not what you hope to do. What are you doing right now, today, on repeat? Are those actions building the life you want? Or are they just keeping you comfortable and stuck? This is the harsh truth no one likes to hear. The results you get are a reflection of your habits, not your dreams, not your intentions, not your image, just your actions. So cut the hype, drop the need to impress. Focus on building systems that don't fail. Create routines that don't rely on inspiration. Get obsessed with the process and fall in love with showing up, even when it's boring, especially when it's boring. Because the difference between the people who talk about changing and the ones who actually do, it's not talent. It's not luck. It's not hype. It's not hype. It's discipline stacked daily through habits that don't care if anyone's watching. And if you build those, the results will make all the noise you'll ever need. You don't need to tell anyone what you're doing. You don't need to announce your plans, your routines, your grind, or your vision. If it's real, if the work is legit, the results will eventually be loud enough to shake the room without you saying a single word. The world doesn't need your promises. It needs proof. And proof doesn't come from talking. It comes from action repeated relentlessly in silence until it becomes undeniable. That's the beauty of working in the shadows. You remove the pressure of perception. You stop playing to the crowd. You stop wasting time crafting an image, and instead you start building a reality. People get obsessed with being noticed. They think the journey needs to be visible to be valuable. They think progress has to be shared to be real, but the most powerful growth happens behind closed doors. No spotlight, no cheerleaders, just repetition, failure, improvement, more repetition, day after day until you become unrecognizable. Most people will never get this. They confuse noise for progress. They scream about their goals, write them on walls, post them on social media, hashtag them into oblivion. But nothing comes from it because they're not doing the damn work. The world is flooded with declarations and starving for action. If you're constantly trying to prove you're grinding, it's probably because deep down you know you're not doing enough. Silence, on the other hand, is dangerous. Silence means you're locked in. You're not distracted by what other people think. You're not looking for a reaction. You're becoming something powerful, and no one even knows it. That's where the magic is. That's how you catch everyone off guard. By the time they notice you, you're already built, already sharp, already miles ahead. They're still talking. You've already transformed. Results don't lie. You don't have to explain a sculpted body. You don't have to justify discipline. You don't need to post about waking up at 4 a.m. when your life speaks for itself. Real results echo louder than any caption, any motivational speech, any story you could tell. They're carved into your character. People feel them when you walk in the room. You don't need to talk because what you've become says everything. But here's what's brutal. Most people want the reaction more than the reality. They want applause without the pain. They want recognition without the repetition. So they stay loud. They keep trying to convince everyone they're on the path. But you can't fake consistency. You can't fake the edge that comes from grinding when no one's around to validate you. That's forged. And it takes time. It takes patience. It takes being okay with being invisible while you level up. If you really want to win, stop advertising your hunger, start feeding it, stop promising, and start proving. The truth is, when you finally break through, when the results show up and people start asking how the hell you got there, you won't need to explain anything. You'll just look at them calm, focused, and say, I was working. That's it. You were in the shadows. You were sacrificing. You were building. And now the results are doing all the talking. No noise, no hype, just cold, hard proof of who you chose to become. Let the world keep shouting. You just keep showing up, because in the end, those who work in silence are the ones who leave the loudest legacy.